Most people aren't defeated by failure, they're defeated by reaction. One word can offend them. One doubt can paralyze them. One emotion can pull them out of control. The world doesn't have to destroy them, it only needs to make them feel. That's how power is lost today, not by force, but by emotional exposure. The calmest mind wins, not the loudest. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. While others chased morality, he studied manipulation, not to deceive, but to see clearly how control really works. His conclusion was brutal: the mind is either ruled or ruling. There's no middle ground. These are the 7 laws of mental dominance, the principles that separate those who influence from those who are influenced. Each one rewires how you see pressure, conflict, and emotion itself. And the first law begins with the one thing people value most: their story. Law 1: Command perception. Power begins where perception is mastered. People treat you not as you are, but as you appear. Machiavelli knew that the world isn't ruled by truth, it's ruled by illusion. No one sees your intentions, they see your composure, your tone, your stillness. In a world obsessed with appearances, whoever controls the story controls the outcome. You can be intelligent or capable, but if others define your image, they define your worth. Truth alone protects no one, it's too quiet to compete with spectacle. As Machiavelli wrote, men judge by the eye rather than the hand. The world reacts to what it sees, not what it is. People measure strength before they hear words. Posture, calm, and mystery decide more than honesty ever will. To be untouchable, become the author of what others believe. Shape the silence around you. Design how your presence is read. Never explain, explanation signals weakness. Authority doesn't argue, it observes. Let them guess. The less they know, the more they respect. Every room hides a silent war for dominance. The loud demand attention, the controlled command it. Confidence doesn't announce itself, it radiates through restraint. A steady gaze, a quiet pause, a deliberate movement say everything. I am in control. When perception is yours, reality bends. Calmness looks like power. Desperation smells like defeat. Even when chaos burns, stillness wins. The mind believes what the eyes repeat, and repeated composure becomes legend. Reputation, Machiavelli warned, is the foundation of all power. Everyone sees what you appear to be, few know what you are. So appear strong when uncertain, unshaken when tested. Let your silence outweigh their noise, your direction replace their judgment. Don't react to labels, rewrite them through results. Power is not manipulation, it's precision, deciding how your presence shapes the world around you. Once you control perception, you no longer chase respect. You define it. Because the one who commands perception commands destiny. Law 2: Rule emotion before it rules you. Emotion is the easiest access point to your mind. The moment someone can provoke your anger, sadness, or fear, they own you. Machiavelli knew this better than anyone: predictable emotions make predictable targets. Detachment isn't coldness, it's armor. It's the ability to stand inside chaos without letting it enter you. When you detach, energy stops leaking into things that don't deserve it. You stop reacting to insults, disappointments, and illusions. You begin to respond, not from emotion, but from control. That's when you become dangerous. Unfiltered emotion masquerades as honesty but functions as weakness. Every impulsive reaction exposes your triggers, and once exposed, you're easy to manipulate. Control isn't repression, it's choice. Feel everything, but act on nothing until it serves your purpose. The wise delay reaction, the fool obeys it. Every emotion is a storm, loud, temporary, and powerless once observed. Don't chase the thunder, let it pass. That stillness is power, what Machiavelli called the strength of command. The unreadable mind cannot be controlled. Two people face the same insult, one erupts and loses power, the other stays silent and wins without a word. The second didn't suppress emotion, he redirected it. He chose precision over impulse. That's psychological dominance. Machiavelli taught rulers to appear virtuous, yet act strategically, to shift emotion when reason demands it. Feelings are tools, not masters. Use them when they advance your plan, silence them when they weaken it. Detachment restores peace. When you stop reacting, life quiets. You stop wasting energy proving worth or seeking fairness in a world ruled by advantage. Distance breeds clarity, patterns emerge where problems once lived. The detached don't escape emotion, they weaponize it. They bend, but never break. Their calmness unnerves, because no one can control a mind that refuses to react. Law 3, trust design, not devotion. Betrayal isn't rare, it's routine. Loyalty lasts only while it's useful. Machiavelli warned, once interest ends, so does allegiance. Those who expect permanence in people invite shock as punishment. Survival in a world of self-interest demands awareness, not faith. The wise man builds systems that outlive promises. Dependence on loyalty is emotional debt, dependence on structure is freedom. Most suffer because they crave consistency in a world built on convenience. They mistake loyalty for virtue when it's only transaction. Expecting betrayal isn't paranoia, it's preparation. As Machiavelli wrote, the promise given was a necessity of the past, the word broken is a necessity of the present. People shift sides when gain demands it. Don't take it personally, read it strategically. Betrayal isn't always malice, it's human nature revealing itself. Once you see that, anger fades, clarity sharpens. Each disloyal act is data, proof of priorities, not tragedy. The powerful use it to restructure, the weak use it to mourn. Never hinge your peace on others. Tie survival to systems, not sympathy. Build plans that function even when trust fails. No one should hold enough access to destroy your progress. That's not cold, that's intelligence. Detachment from blind trust doesn't end connection, it purifies it. You start valuing proof over promises, consistency over charm. You see through flattery, notice patterns, and detect intention before it reaches your emotions. Machiavelli called foresight the highest form of power. The ruler who anticipates deception never bleeds from surprise. He cares selectively, invests cautiously, and protects energy from unstable allies. Most people fall not because they're betrayed, but because they believe they couldn't be. The Machiavellian mind discards that illusion. It builds gates, not walls, guarded openings for those proven through time and adversity. Even then, trust remains conditional. That's not cynicism, it's precision. To expect betrayal is to neutralize it. It can't wound what it can't shock. Strategy becomes your shield, clarity your armor. You stop begging for loyalty and start commanding respect through readiness. Because the one who predicts betrayal never bows to it. Law 4, weaponize stillness. In a chaotic world, calmness is a form of domination. Most mistake composure for weakness. Machiavelli saw it as psychological warfare. The man who stays silent while others panic controls the battlefield without speaking. The calm mind sees what the restless miss. The cold thinker reads patterns hidden behind emotion. Serenity in disorder creates fear, mystery becomes command. Nothing unsettles people more than someone they cannot shake. Machiavelli wrote, "A prince must learn how not to be good." He meant emotional discipline, the ability to suspend kindness when it undermines power. Anyone can stay calm when safe, only the rare stay calm when burning. When others expect collapse and see none, their illusion of control dies. Calmness terrifies instability. It makes the impulsive hesitate. They can't understand why you don't argue, why you don't flinch. Your stillness becomes a mirror that exposes their chaos. The world respects those who stay centered under pressure because reaction is the language of the weak. The cold strategist pauses where others rush. Patience isn't softness, it's mastery of time. As Machiavelli taught, the lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. To survive, one must be both, calculating like the fox, commanding like the lion. That balance demands surface calm and internal precision. Appear fluid like water, yet sharp like ice beneath it. Never reveal tension, doubt, or fear. The less they read you, the more they fear you. Unreadability is power, unpredictability keeps them guessing. Train your inner voice. Meet every irritation with one question. Does reacting help me win? If not, stay silent. Silence destabilizes faster than anger. Arguments die in front of a steady gaze. The cold mind wins through energy, not words. Even in conflict, keep your tone slow, your movements deliberate, your eyes unmoved. Confidence speaks through control, not volume. This law isn't about hiding emotion, it's about choreographing it. Control the stage of your presence. Let everything visible serve advantage, calm when others rage, patience when they rush. Move only by choice, never by impulse. Over time, that restraint becomes armor. No one knows your breaking point, because you never show it. You become the calm within the storm, the observer among reactors, the strategist among victims. Law 5, Rule through silence. Silence isn't emptiness, it's pure control. The more you speak, the more you expose. Every excess word is an open gate into your mind. Once they can read you, they can predict you. Machiavelli understood that power survives through mystery. Silence isn't absence, it's strategy. When you withhold words, imagination fills the gap. People project their fears and motives onto you, and that uncertainty becomes leverage. The quiet are never ignored, they're studied, misread, and feared. By the time they act, it's too late to resist. Words seek validation, power requires none. To justify is to surrender. The moment you argue, you acknowledge another's authority. Silence destroys that illusion. It declares, you owe no explanation. Restraint carries risk, but it's calculated risk, misunderstanding traded for dominance. People fear what they can't define, and silence makes you undefined. The listener sees more than the talker ever will. Most speak to protect the ego, every defense leaks insecurity. The Machiavellian mind speaks only with intention, when outcome demands it. Learn to live inside the pause. Let others drown in their own noise. In stillness, their truths surface while yours remain hidden. In conflict, silence bends the field. It starves the impulsive, exposes the arrogant, and forces confession through discomfort. Observation becomes weapon. While they speak, you see micro-reactions, tone shifts, contradictions invisible to the loud. Silence isn't the absence of power, it's its concentration, a blade sheathed but deadly. Those who speak rarely are assumed to think deeply. Scarcity gives their voice weight. You don't need to be the smartest, only the one who doesn't need to speak. Over time, silence becomes identity. It makes you unreadable, respected, feared. When you finally speak, every word cuts with precision. True presence isn't volume, it's composure, observation, and timing. Keep plans hidden, emotions sealed, and words minimal. What can't be decoded can't be defeated. Silence keeps you untouchable, untamed, and always one move ahead. Law 6. Turn distance into power. Constant presence breeds familiarity, and familiarity kills respect. The more accessible you are, the less your value registers. Machiavelli understood that scarcity sustains influence. Appear too often, and you blend in; appear rarely, and you become myth. Absence isn't retreat, it's precision. It creates tension, curiosity, and desire. When people can't always reach you, they start constructing your image in their minds. They replay your words, question your silence, and wait for your return. That waiting is power. Timing outweighs frequency. Show up too much, and you lose gravity; appear selectively, and every arrival feels deliberate. The insecure crave visibility, the strategic vanish to amplify it. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are driven by two principal impulses, love and fear. Absence triggers both. Some miss you, others dread losing your favor. Either way, you control their attention. Overexposure dulls mystery. Once fully known, you stop being fascinating. Distance reintroduces imagination, and imagination magnifies authority. Absence also cleanses focus. Constant interaction drains awareness and reveals patterns. Solitude isn't escape, it's recalibration. The crowd reacts, the detached observe. The mind that steps back sees what the absorbed never will. To master absence, disappear with intent. Offer no explanations, no announcements, no apologies. Withdraw when presence no longer serves advantage, return only when it shifts the balance. Because those who understand distance never fade, they ascend. Law 7. Conquer the mind, command the world. All power begins within. No wealth, influence, or strategy endures without mastery of thought. Machiavelli knew the greatest victories are won in silence, inside the walls of one's own mind. The world belongs to those who control focus while others drown in distraction. Every battle starts in thought before it reaches reality. Strength isn't control over others, it's control over the self when everything demands reaction. Own the inner world, and the outer world obeys. Most lose before they fight, anxiety commands their choices, fear dictates direction. Their minds drift like leaves, driven by circumstance. Machiavelli observed, "The first method for estimating a ruler's intelligence is to look at the men he has around him. The environment mirrors the mind. Chaos outside signals disorder within. Control begins with awareness. Watch your thoughts without judgment. Discipline them like soldiers. The mind is servant and master. If you fail to rule it, it will rule you. Doubt, fear, and insecurity will seize command until you reclaim it through discipline. Once tamed, thought becomes blade, precise, silent, lethal." Machiavellian strength isn't born from aggression but from restraint. The calm thinker moves slower, but every move lands with purpose. He neither dwells on the past nor kneels before the future, he acts in deliberate control of the present. Mental mastery is constant conditioning. Replace fear with logic. Emotion with intention. Noise with silence. Every moment of restraint builds strength. Each time you redirect thought, you reclaim territory within. Eventually, the mind stops betraying you. The world loses leverage. Betrayal, insult, failure, they collapse without emotional reaction. Power doesn't come from resisting the world, it comes from rewriting how the mind perceives it. Machiavelli taught, reason must rule desire. Desire blinds, reason directs. The detached yet decisive mind becomes untouchable. Every empire begins as disciplined thought, every collapse as distraction. A mind ruled by fear is a puppet, A mind ruled by strength is a throne. Control your thoughts, and destiny follows. You stop reacting and start designing, choice by choice, unshaken by chaos. Rule your mind as a sovereign rules a kingdom. Guard it from corruption and ignorance. Feed it focus, sharpen it with silence, and let calmness be its crown. Once the mind is conquered, peace is no longer pursued, it emanates. Being untouchable doesn't mean feeling nothing, it means nothing can use your feelings against you. You don't become cold, you become composed. You stop being ruled by chaos and start directing it. No insult, betrayal, or failure can claim your focus. Every challenge becomes a study. Every conflict, a calculation. Every obstacle, a quiet test of control. Machiavelli taught that true power isn't granted, it's built through discipline, perception, and strategy. When these laws take root, you stop surviving the world and begin shaping it. You move with calm precision, clear, deliberate, unbreakable. Because control isn't something you find, it's something you forge inside. Detachment protects. Silence amplifies. Absence elevates. Calmness disarms. Strategy shields. Perception governs all. Together, they form a single truth: power begins and ends in the mind. The untouchable don't react, they design outcomes through stillness and foresight. If this sharpened your understanding, don't stop here. Continue the discipline, watch the Machiavelli on Power as Design playlist, and keep building the mind no one can manipulate. Silence. Strategy. Self-control. That is the architecture of power. Let the world test you, and let it find nothing that shakes you again.